Hello there guys and welcome back to my channel for yet another live stream, for yet another what we really learned from the previous game today, talking about Chelsea 6, Barnsley 0, and to make it basically two streams in one, because this morning at 10 AM UK time, bloody hell Chelsea, we announced the signing of our new goalkeeper Edouard Mendy from Stade Rennes for a transfer fee of, well, initially around 18 point something million pounds up front, 20 million euros, and then going up to 25 million euros slash 22 million pounds, which is just add-ons, bonuses and stuff. And he signed a 5-year deal with the club, which is bloody brilliant, of course. And I'm going to talk about him today. I'm going to talk about the game last night, which was a very, very, just brilliant game. It was just a really enjoyable game. I don't really care whether it was a championship opponent. It was a fun game to watch. Both teams had chances. We scored 6 goals. They scored none in the end. We won 6-0. What more can you really possibly be asking for? But if you're new here, make sure you subscribe to my channel. That would genuinely be massively appreciated. It really, really would be, guys. So make sure you subscribe. Help me reach 7,000 subscribers. As soon as possible, and then in the end 10k subs, and then we go from there. Make sure you drop a like if you're watching this right now, and yeah, just bloody happy, Let's see what you guys have put into the chat. Hello guys, how you doing? That's bloody brilliant. That's what I want to see, more and more people joining in. Of course, guys, if you fancy it, you can always head over to my Twitter. The link to it is down in the description, and share that tweet, which is the link to this live stream, so more and more people tune in. That's bloody great. But yeah, let's start it off by talking about the new goalkeeper, and then we get into talking about the game. Like I said, the transfer fee is around £22 million if you include all the add-ons. Whether those will all become active in the end or not, we'll have to wait and see. So around £20 million, which is a bargain, Marina did a great job again. Rennes certainly wanted more. Or they wanted, for example, Tammy on loan. Or they wanted to sign others of our players. Olivier Giroud initially they wanted. So, it's good. Marina did a great job again. I mean, Rennes fans couldn't stop praising Mendy. That's how happy they are with him. So, at the end of the day, I'm happy. I'm happy with this signing. I mean, he is 28 years of age, and he has only had 2 years of top flight football. So this season, or this past season with Rennes, and this year before with Rennes, I'm not actually 100% how to pronounce that name, that place, R-E-I-M-S. I speak a bit of French. I'm good with French pronunciations, but I don't know how to pronounce that place. Regardless, he had 2 Ligue 1 seasons with those 2 clubs, and before that, was actually not doing so well. At the age of, 21? He was actually unemployed, didn't have a club, and then worked his way up. It's a genuine, really lovely story, and you just love to see it. But more importantly, he's actually a good goalkeeper. Is he the best goalkeeper in the world? No, he isn't. But he's a good goalkeeper that brings us exactly the things that Kepa especially is lacking. He comes with a frame of 6'6", 197 centimeters tall, and has the highest cross interception rate of any goalkeeper in all of the top 5 leagues in Europe. I mean, what more can you possibly be asking for? And even his save percentage is, I think, the 4th or 5th best in all of Europe. Save percentage, you can't read 100% everything into it, because, I mean, if a shot goes straight into the top corner, you can't really expect the goalkeeper to save it. And, if it's shot at him, well, he can't really not save it, because, that's just where he stood there. That it's as simple as that, really. But what is quite a remarkable stat is the XGs, with, for strikers goes, how many goals do you score compared to how many goals you're expected to score, with, the stat database is always, looking at how likely it is to score from set position. Say the closer you are to goal, an open goal, the number is always lower. It's always between 0 and 1. And for goalkeepers, it's basically the other way around. How likely are you to concede that goal, or how likely are you, to make that save? So, because of all of that, Kepa has actually a negative XG stat, meaning he lets in more goals than he's expected, while Edouard Mendy has a positive XG stat, meaning he saves more than he's expected to concede. He concedes less goals than he's expected because he makes a number of saves. So really, you just got to be happy with that. What the situation in the end is going to be, I just realized I forgot to close my window behind there. It's going to be fine. Let's just hope there's no ambulance or a helicopter. If there is, I need to get up and close that. I do apologize. Don't know why I forgot that. Let me just, you know what? I'm just going to close that quickly. You're just going to stay here. It's my mic. That's what we do over here. Just had to close that quickly. It is what it is. At the end of the day, I'm just happy. I'm just happy with signing Mendy, because we just have better and more, it's just stronger goalkeeping competitions now. And it will be very interesting to see how Lampard handles the situation. Is Kepa going to play in cups? Is Kepa going to play in the Champions League? And is Mendy going to be the Premier League goalkeeper? You could say that makes sense, especially for the Champions League, because the Champions League is less physical. And it is less about these high and long balls, especially once you get out of the group stages or if the better teams in the group stages. So, you know, it is an argument to be made. Play Mendy in the Premier League and in maybe the tougher cup games, and play Kepa in the, you know, less difficult cup games and in the Champions League where it's less about highs, less about crossing, and you know, less about dangerous set pieces, but teams just wanting to play, and also possibly pressing more. And when the opponent presses more, you know, that's when it's a bit more tricky, and you need a goalkeeper that's great at, you know, with the ball at his feet. And Mendy is actually not bad at that. Let's not get that twisted. He's just not bad at being. He's just not very good at being press resistant. Like, his short passing isn't the best, and his, you know, handling with the ball at his feet under pressure isn't ideal. But his completion rate of long balls is actually very good. To some extent, that of course might be to do with just Rennes' play style, with them being a rather defensive team and them playing with long balls quite often. So how often does he actually play easy short passes like our goalkeepers do? And how often does he go for the long ball? But if his long balls are more accurate than Kepa's is, and he can also hit the ball longer, that could be an advantage, especially at times when we are being pressed and we just need to get out. It's helpful if we can keep the ball in that situation. So, you know, honestly, I'm not complaining. And again, everyone that's watching, I really do appreciate every single one of you that has tuned in. And we'll get to what you guys have put into the chat. I don't know why there's so many people saying things that YouTube is automatically hiding, so I need to press show here so you can actually all see these comments. Yes, Baguma Gerald, please drop the like button. All people watching now, that's what I like to see. Do what he said, and like gang as well. My girlfriend doing her bit. Love you. But yeah, you know, in general, put a couple of things that you guys want to say about Mendy, because otherwise we'll move on from him. I'm just happy we signed him. He should, in theory, be available for the game on Saturday, but personally, I very much doubt he will actually play in that. It'll be interesting to see who will play in that, you know. I wouldn't be surprised at all if it's really Caballero, in all honesty. But I guess we'll just have to wait and see. How does he have attitude problems? Did Lampard tell you that? Are you talking about Hudson-Odoi? I will get to that later. Yo, unknown. What's up, bro? I'm good. How you doing? I hope you're good as well. But yeah, you know, we have a new goalkeeper. It took us long enough. You know, we kind of knew it was happening since early September, if not late August. We knew it was going to be Mendy, and we knew it was going to happen. It just took a while. Rennes dragged it out a little bit. Like I said, they wanted a bit more money, or they wanted Tomori on loan. You know, they wanted things, but Marina Granovskaya, the woman that she is, the masterful woman that she is, sorted it out and got it done. Yeah, it would have been good maybe if we had him already for Liverpool. Maybe we wouldn't have lost that game then. But you never know. Here we are. And at the end of the day, I'm just good. I'm happy with that. And now I think we should probably talk about yesterday's game. Shall we do that? Let me just put the lineup of last night's game up on the screen for a second. That's what we started with. Caballero in goal. Thiago Silva making his debut. Tomori next to him. Azpilicueta at right back in place of Reece James. Emerson, somewhat surprisingly to me, starting at left back. Kovacic and Ross Barkley. Fair play to him. Ross Barkley, I hate on Ross Barkley a lot. I really do. I have to admit that. But the guy's versatile, you know, as hell, you know. Playing as a number 10. Playing on the wing in a few games, you know, last season. Remember when we played Spurs and Bayern Munich? He played on the wing with Mount and Olivier Giroud up front. Like, you know what I mean? I mean, it was kind of a half wing in a 3-4-3, but still playing as a number 8, and yesterday even playing in the number 6 role. Yes, it was a championship opposition, so it makes it a bit easier. But still, you know, it's good. I'm happy with that. Kai Havertz playing in the number 10 role, getting a hat-trick in the end. Hudson-Odoi on the right, Mason Mount on the left, and Tammy Abraham starting up front, properly stating his claim for a starting spot for the game on Saturday. You know, it's as simple as that. He genuinely did that. Yeah, let's talk about we will get to Hudson-Odoi, guys. Let's relax. We will get to Hudson-Odoi. And guys, the more swear words you put into your comments, the less likely it is. I always have to press show for the YouTube chat to actually allow that. So if you don't use swear words, I don't have to actually press that. So please just refrain from doing that, because then I don't have to press these buttons, because that just makes things easier for me. Thank you. But getting into the game, it was a good game. You know, it was a brilliant game. I mean, Hudson-Odoi should have made it 1-0 after like 3 or 4 or 5 minutes. And then Barnsley were actually the better team for the first 15, 16, 17 minutes. And then we got going. Tammy Abraham getting a good goal to make it 1-0 not long after. Kai Havertz getting his first goal. Brilliant goal. Mason Mount. Tammy with a brilliant dummy. and Kai slotting it in perfectly. Then Kai working really hard on the press, putting in a great tackle with the ball, then falls to Barkley. Barkley, with his weaker, because barely has a weak foot, the guy. Left foot, put it into the bottom corner to make it 3. I think that was just after the break. Not long after that, Kai Havertz makes it 2-0. Brilliant. Kovacic on the left after another Barnsley mistake. They were a good team going forward, but defensively, the amount of mistakes they made, they had an absolute shocker last night. They had an absolute shocker. Anyway, Kovacic through, crossed it into the middle for Tammy. Not sure whether purposely or not, but he kind of backheeled it to Havertz. In the interview, he said he knew it was coming. That was kind of, worked out in training, for crosses. Tammy was always going to come short, and he knew Kai was going to be behind him, so he possibly tried to backheel it to him. Kai then turns up, slots it in to make it his second goal of the night and 4-0 on the day, and then he goes on to score his third, the fifth of the team. Another Tammy assist over the top, makes the keeper, puts it in to an empty net, and then Olivier Giroud, who came on, scored as well. And honestly, I have to talk about a few guys. Obviously, let's start with the main guy. That was last night, Kai Havertz. He was brilliant. He was brilliant in every aspect. Yes, we played the Championship side, but let's not ignore the Championship is a very physical league, and he's a tall guy, but he's not the biggest guy. He's a fairly thin guy, and he dealt with it well. His technique is just next level, genuinely. It really, really is. His determination is great as well. The only thing I would like to see from him is to look a bit happier sometimes. Like, you scored a hat-trick. You're allowed to be happy, mate. Not sit on the bench and look at the floor. Or even in his interview, yeah, scored a hat-trick, great. You're allowed to look a bit happy. But, if that's his personality, I don't mind. If he's only going to look happy after he scores 60 goals a season, you do that. You do that. Don't know who you mean. Yeah, we'll talk about Hudson-Odoi. Calm down, guys. Let's stay a bit more positive. And Yuka, can Mendy play against West Brom? In theory, yes. But whether he will or not, I guess we'll just have to wait and see. I wouldn't be 100% certain on it. But yeah, Havertz in the number 10. Certainly more comfortable in that position, I will have to admit. I mean, we haven't seen him as a number 8 yet. I think he'll be equally as comfortable there. But as a number 10, he was just great. The link-up play with Tammy Abraham was just great. And that's the next guy I need to talk about. Tammy Abraham. What a guy. He struggled late last season. He struggled for the second half of last season, really. And after restart, he didn't really get to play much anymore. And to then have your first start of the season and play like that, incredible. Great determination to score his goal. Great assists. That dummy for Kai's first goal was amazing. His work rate, his link-up play, honestly, Tammy was brilliant today. And genuinely, I think he stated his claim to start on the weekend. Put Werner on the left, Tammy Abraham up front, and Kai Havertz as a number 10. I think we should do that. I genuinely think we should do that. And whether you then have Mount on the other wing or not, fair enough. I don't think Hudson-Odoi did state his claim at all. I will get to him. So probably still have Mason on the wing to have that press, even though I'm baffled by how Mason Knight is still playing and running like he is. Already played 3 games this season. The only guy that played full 19 every game, I'm pretty sure. So yeah, that's that. Another couple of positives. Mason Mount, brilliant performance yesterday. Not quite as eye-catching as Tammy and Kai, but brilliant nonetheless. The work rate, the movement on the left, seemingly he's getting a bit more comfortable playing out wide, because obviously that's not actually his natural position. Getting better there. Who else do I need to highlight? Ross Barkley, fair play to the guy. Already mentioned him earlier. Fair play, good performance. Would I start him on the weekend? No, but still a good performance regardless. Mateo Kovacic was good. Thiago Silva struggled a tiny bit at the start, but then you did see his experience shine through and his ability shine through. Caballero made 9 saves yesterday. That's more than Kepa did in the last 3 games or last 5 games or whatever it is. That's not necessarily just Kepa's fault, because we barely conceded shots on target the last few games. He conceded most of them, the ones that he did concede, but there probably wasn't even 9 saves to make, in all honesty. Because our midfield and defence were quite poor defensively yesterday. And who else do I want to highlight in a positive way? Well, yeah, Thiago Silva and Ben Chilwell making his debut, coming on, getting the assist for Olivier Giroud's goal, the 6th goal of the night late on. And we should have scored more. Let's be honest. Tammy could have scored 2 or 3. Kai could have scored 1 more. Mason Mount had to have scored 1 goal. He really, really had to, after great link-up play between him and Olivier Giroud. And, we really could have scored more. But Barnsley could have scored plenty of goals as well. And that's kind of our problem. Lampard really tried to change things from Sarri in the way the midfield is. Where when we play against Liverpool and Man City, he goes back to how, the team knows to play. Where to block the passing lanes and block the shooting lanes. And, we're good defensively against those teams. So when we play our offensive play, Our midfield is open as ever. Like, honestly, teams find it so easy to get through our midfield, and to some extent, Kepa's poor form is also to do with that. I mean, everything always comes to the defenders, and people shoot from distance. Yeah, we know he's not great at, saving shots from outside the box, but he also, like, the team concedes way too many shots from outside the box. Oh, I will talk about Emerson. Thank you, Saurabh. I will talk about Emerson, but don't spam, please. I will talk about that. Thank you for the reminder. But, Kepa, you have to understand that it shouldn't be so easy to shoot from outside the box. Like the Trossard goal by Brighton. He shouldn't be able to shoot from there. So that's something that we need to work on. That's probably why Chelsea are after Declan Rice and signing a proper DM. Because that's where, that's where we'll get better. That's where we'll get better, genuinely. And, but at the same time, also Mendy will save more shots from outside the box. It's as simple as that. It's as simple as that. What do you mean, nah? You absolute mug. Absolute mug. But yeah, because Saurabh mentioned it, let's talk about Emerson. Let's talk about Emerson. We actually have conceded the fewest shots in Europe. Yes, but but you need to understand, where do we concede those shots from? Like, it makes a big difference. Anyways, talk about Emerson. The guy started the left back. Then when Ben Chilwell came on with around 20 minutes to play, when Kai Havertz came off, Emerson actually moved to left wing with Ben Chilwell at left back, because Ben Chilwell came on for Kai Havertz. And then later on in the game, to move Hudson-Odoi over to the left, Emerson actually played right wing. It's bloody brilliant. Genuinely is bloody brilliant. Can't really complain about that, quite frankly. Emerson is a really weird player to me personally. Emerson is a really, really weird player because he has so much ability. The guy has so much ability. But he just doesn't always show it. He just isn't always able to show it. Like, he was so good at the start of last season. He was such a brilliant left back. And then he picked up the muscle injury when he was on international duty with Italy. And then he just hasn't been the same since. But there's so many things he does right. He's good in possession. He's quick. He's agile. He's got great technique. He's got decent crossing. He's got great passing. He doesn't have a right foot, and his positioning and awareness defensively isn't always great. But to have him as an option as a winger, if need be, it's all right. It's all right. And Tony Montana, Laurenz, I'm a new subscriber, but I loved your videos since 100% Chelsea days. I appreciate that a lot, mate. I appreciate that a lot, Tony. And everyone that's here, if you're new here, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you bloody subscribe, because help me reach 7k subs. That'd be brilliant. The more of you that subscribe, the better, of course. Click the notification bell button so you don't miss any for future videos. Don't know why I started speaking so quickly there. And drop a like. Everyone, drop a like. If you're here right now, there's over 75 of you watching. Go down below and smash that bloody like button, guys. Alright? Doesn't cost you any money, barely cost you any time. It just makes me happy. It helps push these videos out to more people. And, I love you. I love you. Yes, and Saurabh had to be put on a timeout because the guy was just spamming. Bloody ridiculous. Anyway, let's talk about a couple more players. Already mentioned Thiago Silva, of course. Tomori, I was fairly happy with, but again, the midfield and defence weren't all that great. Aspi putting his body on the line, even almost getting a header goal late on. And I mentioned the midfielders, who I didn't mention yet, and in my opinion, our worst player on the night was Hudson-Odoi, even though Lampard said he was fairly happy with him and he tried fairly hard. And his defensive work was good. He tried hard, tracking back. Whenever he lost the ball, he tried to win it back immediately. He did okay in that. So it wasn't a case of lack of attitude and lack of effort yesterday. But whenever he received the ball in dangerous areas, my problem, two things. First of all, when he was on the left late in the second half, he was better. Because the guy doesn't have a left foot. So he's on the right. He tries to cut inside. He shifted over to his left foot. Then he realised, I can't actually do much on my left foot. So then he passes it backwards. That's what happens with Hudson-Odoi. I don't understand why he's not being played on the left more if we want to see more from him. So that's a bit of a problem. But he just doesn't do enough with it. He doesn't go past people. He doesn't try. He doesn't look confident. But then again, he's still getting past a bad injury and then not playing when he was trying to, properly get into the team, sign a new long-term and, high wages contract last summer. There's a lot riding on him. But, you need to perform, mate. You need to perform, mate. It's as simple as that. When you get the chance, and he did get the chance last night, you need to take it and you need to... And you need to just take your chances. It's as simple as that. Who's the third choice striker now? Olivier Giroud is, of course. was always going to be like that this season, let's be honest. And someone put the question there. I am an F1 fan. Look at the Ferrari hat. Always an F1 fan all my life. Been a F1 fan longer than I've been a football fan, to be honest, because my dad is into football, but not as much as he's into F1. So before I could even talk, I was watching F1 with my dad. And, you know, as little kids are, I like the bright red, I will admit. And, you know, little kids usually like the guys that win, and Ferrari was winning back then. So, you know, actually they weren't actually. When I started watching F1, it was still McLaren winning with me Gakken, and yeah, I'm old. Any which way. Got distracted me there. Someone said, if Tammy and Pulisic are on form, do we bench Werner? No. If they are really on such form that you can't not play either of them, then you play Pulisic on the right, Tammy up front, Werner on the left, Kai as a number 10. If they are really properly on really good form. But most of the time, Tammy won't be on crazy form, like they won't all be on crazy form at the same time. Although, I mean, you didn't say if Ziyech is on form too. If Ziyech is on form, well then, yes, maybe then you need to think about it that way. Maybe. But the likelihood of all those four being on form and Werner not being on form, I think are very slim. Please talk about F1 in the future. I'm also a massive Ferrari fan. Love that from you, mate. Love that. I certainly will do. Tomori at the back. Tammy in attack. Yes, love that. Chelsea's going to win the Champions League. Finish the chant off, please. Didn't even see that. Yes, that's one. Hudson-Odoi was awful. Just get him out of our club. All right, relax. I mean, you need to relax. There's no point in hating on everybody. People, genuinely, Chelsea fans and everyone, just need to understand that there's no point in kicking off at everyone all the bloody time. There's no point in insulting our own players. You know, I don't like Hudson-Odoi that much. And if he plays badly, I'm not going to start insulting him. Like, who does that help? Does that make him play better? No, it doesn't. It doesn't change anything. Genuinely, like, people need to relax. Genuinely, guys, you need to relax. Stop insulting our own players. Like, it doesn't help anybody. It genuinely doesn't help anybody. Mateo, don't know how to pronounce your name. Moale Matlala. Appreciate that. Love that. Like he said, everyone, drop a bloody like. Do that right now, guys, and subscribe if you haven't already. That'd be good too. But drop a like, every single one of you that is watching right now. 73 of you, only 37 likes. So at least half of you can still click that like button. So please do that. That'd be great. Should we keep Emerson and sell Alonso? I mean, I would have loved that I would have been saying that for years. Genuinely, for years. I would have loved to get rid of Alonso as soon as Conte's second season started because I thought it was awful, regardless of the position, formation. But it's not going to happen. You know, maybe we'll keep Emerson as a fourth-choice winger. You never know. Kepa to Roma, ex-West Ham employee. Really? I mean, fair enough. I don't. Who's that goalkeeper? Olsen, the Swedish guy, isn't he? So you never know. Might be. But I think if we actually manage to get rid of Kepa, unless it's a loan, then I don't think we would have signed someone as cheap as Mendy. What do you think of Chilwell? Got a great assist yesterday, but some fans don't rate him. Well, we'll just have to wait and see. I rate him personally. Would I have said there's maybe slightly better options for his price? Maybe. But I like the guy. He comes across nicely and good, positive in his interviews. Good assist yesterday. And he's a fairly quick player. He's good defensively. He's good going forward. He's very, like, you know, what's the word? Not versatile, complete. He's a complete left back. Good on both ends. What's the next move for Kepa? Does he try and remain competitive or does he look elsewhere? Max Plum, thanks for the question. Well, the question just is, well, how much will he play? If Kepa plays all the Champions League games, I think he'll happily stay around for at least the season. And hopefully build up, you know, just his prospect and build up his reputation again. And then maybe someone will come in and pay us decent money for him so we don't make a huge L. Don't take the huge L that we are already taking with him because he's the record, you know, the most expensive goalkeeper of all time. So it's an L already. But, you know, if he can play in the Champions League and can do all right and maybe play in the Cup as well, you know, then maybe we can get some money back for him. Frederick Azamoa said, would love to see the Werner on the left, Tammy up top, Mason on the right, kind of middle, kind of hold. Yeah, no, I would like to see that as well on Saturday. That's generally what I personally will go for. Genuinely, I'd be excited for that. A couple more questions that I'm going to mention, that I'm going to reply to before finishing this off. Eden Hazard, I love that, said, check Twitter, Kepa to Italy, most likely Roma on loan, source, ex-West Ham United employee. He just tweeted 15 minutes ago. I mean, I've seen ex-West Ham employee tweet a lot of things, but I haven't yet seen enough of him to know whether I'll trust him or not. So let's not get ahead of ourselves too much. But, you know, it's possible. It's possible. Roma do like our Chelsea players. Roma do. Maybe Rudiger's on his way there as well. Apparently he's been offered to Barcelona, which is baffling to me, but, you know, fair enough. Why would we start him in the Champions League? Because if we have Mendy now, if we just don't ever play Kepa anymore and we can't manage to loan him out or sell him now, if we don't play him all season, we'll make an even bigger loss on him. I mean, the guy signed a 7-year contract when he signed 2 years ago. A 7-year contract. Think about that. So he still has 5 years left on his contract. If we never play him, no one will get him. No one will want to get him from us. So he will just take the wages, and he's on high wages, and do that for another 5 years. So we need to play him now and again to keep his reputation up. And if he does well, obviously he can keep playing in the Champions League. A bit like Barcelona did it with Claudio Bravo and Ter Stegen when Ter Stegen just moved there. Ter Stegen played all the Champions League games and Claudio Bravo played in the La Liga. So that's that. He's the worst keeper in Europe, but it's a different football, so it's not quite as deep. Where does Willie go from here? Yeah, I don't really know that as well. He played great yesterday. I wouldn't be shocked if Willie starts again against West Brom, in all honesty, because I would kind of be surprised if Mendy starts already on Saturday, because a goalkeeper needs a little bit of time to get to know the defenders, to know what to do, I think. But I'm not 100% sure. We'll have to wait and see. Guendouzi rumours are nonsense. Yeah, I bloody hope they're nonsense. And I bloody hope they're nonsense about Jorginho going to Arsenal as well, because those piss me off too. Like, can we stop strengthening Arsenal? Like, I know David Luiz wasn't suited for us anymore with the whole Lampard issue. Willian didn't want to sign a 2-year contract, and we didn't want to give him a 3-year contract, and that's fair enough. He went to Arsenal. But we can't give them another player. Jorginho might not be in our best starting 11, and he might only play a handful of games for the rest of the season, or maybe 2 handful of games, a dozen of games. But he would strengthen Arsenal because he's a great player, so stop doing that. I don't entertain that idea. I don't care if we need funds. If we need funds, sell him to Italy. Sell him to Spain, wherever they need him, where they want him, if we need to sell him. But don't sell him to Arsenal. I'm not having it. I'm not having it at all. Top guy, liked and subbed. Appreciate that a lot, Max. Appreciate that a lot. Kepa against Mbappe, Ronaldo, Lewandowski, heart attack settings. Mate, you need to relax where you think we're going to get in the Champions League. I mean, yeah, we could get unfortunate and get these guys in the group stages, obviously. But if we don't get them in the group stages, let's see how far we get. Do you know what I mean? And, you know. But, like, whether it's Mbappe or not, I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. We'll just have to wait and see. Backed up by Dan McCarthy. All right. You know, maybe it's something. Maybe it's something. I appreciate that. Appreciate that, Eden Hazard, for the infos. So let's see whether Kepa goes to Roma. I wouldn't be hating on it. Then we had Mendy and Caballero. I'd be okay with that. I'd be okay with that as well. But yeah, what happened to 100% Chelsea? Well, that doesn't exist anymore. Someone got sacked. Can we give a special mention to Thiago Silva if we haven't already? Such a composed centre back. Love him. Yes. Tony, you're a big man in the comments. You're a big man in the comments. You've got a good colour of icon because it always pops out at me more than the grey and the purple. Yeah, special mention to Thiago Silva. I hope he starts on Saturday. He was good. I was happy with him. He's taking English lessons every single day, Monday to Friday, and working his best to, you know, improve his English and learn English because he barely or not at all speaks it now. But he still speaks French, Italian, Spanish, Portuguese. So, you know, he still managed to converse with the players. Even Kepa against Gary Smith is risky. That's a good one. CFC's time. Do you think Ruben Loftus-Cheek should go out on loan to get back his form? My favourite Chelsea player, by the way. That's the last question I'm going to answer. And it's a tough one for me. I love Ruben so much. I said this on my Blues Fans TV review straight after the game last night as well. I love the guy so much. He's by far my favourite player. Generally by far. I've loved the guy since he was 16. I've watched him in an under-18s game on Chelsea TV just randomly when I had like a free trial of Chelsea TV or something. The guy's just brilliant. And I need, like, his injury just annoys me so much that I know we did it for a great cause, that friendly, and it was a great cause that it took place, but it should have taken place in a better pitch, and it shouldn't have taken place between the last game of the season and the Europa League final. And the fact that he got such a bad injury in such a, let's be honest, unnecessary game, is just so frustrating to me because that's the only reason why he isn't a regular starter. That season on the side, he was so bloody good. A couple of back spasm problems that kept him from starting more games, but he was our second best player that season. He was our second best player behind Eden Hazard that season. And he would have been one of our best players. He would have been our best player last season, in my opinion. And he would have been one of our best players this season with the new acquisitions, genuinely. And it hurts me so much that we're not seeing it from him, and maybe a loan wouldn't do it badly. Maybe a loan to West Ham, if that can help us get Declan Rice, maybe that wouldn't be awful. And Aston Villa would be interested in him as well, apparently, under John Terry. Wouldn't hate that either. Close connection between Frank and John, that might help the whole situation with Ruben, so that wouldn't be bad, hopefully. But, you know, yeah, no, genuinely, romantic confessions out here. I love Ruben, honestly, I love him. What do you think of Everton this season? Top 6? Wouldn't be surprised yet. Wouldn't be surprised. Depends on Tottenham and Arsenal, obviously, if they actually make top 6. But I think Everton and Leicester will fight it out for the best non-top 6 club, depending on none of the actual top 6 drops out, I guess. But yeah, guys, I think I'm going to leave it here. There's 83 of you watching. The thing is, I always go for like half an hour and then more and more people start tuning in. So that's a bit disappointing. But every single one of you, just make sure you subscribe, hit the notification bell button, and the next time round, you will get notification of me going live much sooner. And then you will actually see what I'm doing much earlier. Which, of course, would be great, I think, because I do these kind of videos after the day after every single game. You know, and I will throw a couple of games in there as well. But we'll have so many midweek games that I won't actually be available much to do much more than I do already. So we'll have to wait and see. But I guarantee of the day after every single Chelsea game, there will be a video on here, a live stream on here, or a video. So make sure you subscribe for that. Drop a like if you enjoyed this video. Drop a like if you're happy about the Chelsea win and about Chelsea signing a new goalkeeper. That'd be bloody brilliant. Oh no, for fuck's sake, not Everton. Yeah, sorry, gorgeous. My girlfriend hates Everton. I don't know why. She's just pissed off because they have the Angry Birds sponsor. I think it's quite funny that she hates them so much. But you know, it is what it is. But yeah, like I said already, make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. Drop a like if you enjoyed this live stream, if you enjoyed this video, if you're watching it at a later point. And make sure you leave me your thoughts on the game and on the signing of Edouard Mendy down in the comment section below. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Up to Chelsea. And I'll see you. I'll see you next time.